Alrighty, thank you guys for tuning in to Aspiration Athletics Podcast. I'm your host, Devin Burnison, and I have a very special guest today. This is one unique guy. If I had to compare him to anything, it would be the Eric Thomas in real life. Mr. Nate Griffin, thanks for joining us, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
So I'm really geeked about this. You and I have talked quite a few times leading up to this point, and I think it's definitely allowed us to kind of see what kind of personality types we are, right? And
Absolutely.
I think we're a lot more similar than different.
For sure.
And that's why we're here.
Okay.
So first off, I want to thank all of the listeners, subscribers thus far. You guys help the podcast happen. You help make this happen. You're the driving force behind everything that we do here. So I want to give you a huge shout out there. Let's continue to share this movement and spread that energy. This guy's been all over. You've been on multiple platforms, whether it's YouTube or doing podcasting with other people. Whenever I look up your name on Google, there's so much that comes up, man. Where do we begin with your story in terms of how you got into fitness? What was it like growing up? Were you from Ypsilanti? Where did this all start for you?
Definitely, man. I grew up in Ypsilanti, West Willow area.
Okay.
If you're familiar with that area. Active kid, you know what I mean? Basketball, football, track, a little baseball here and there, you know, but just growing up an athlete, you know what I'm saying? And keeping it going, just.
So would you say that you were kind of a jack of all trades then? You hung around all different, because it sounds like you were in different sports all throughout.
But basketball and football, and basketball mainly, you know what I mean? I had a scholarship to a Division II school in Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
Lincoln Memorial University. Went down there for a season. I didn't stay down there and do that, but I did play as a freshman, And then I came back, when I left college. I didn't go back to school.
Yeah.
Got me a job, and started working.
Things took off from there. So would you say that growing up it was kind of a pressure on you to be athletically involved?
No pressure.
No?
Definitely no pressure. We wanted to be involved in sports, so it wasn't any pressure to do like anything other than that.
Right. It was just kind of the norm, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kids our age, it's time to.
That's really cool.
For sure.
Would you say that you had any idols? Like, were there any, anyone that you can think of in that time frame that you're like, man, I need to execute like him? Or
I didn't have that. You know what I mean? I looked up to my father, growing up, I looked up to my father. And my high school coach was really important to me.
Man, mine too. My high school coach, really set the tone for my early adult life. Would you say that's
Absolutely.
pretty similar to your story then?
My father wasn't in my life for an extended period of time. And my basketball coach was right there. His name's Mike Garland. He's actually an assistant coach at Michigan State now.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Very, very, very influential in my life. Very, very taught me a lot. He's a very passionate man himself, so he taught me what leadership was about.
Man, and I hear you loud and clear with that, because I watch you not just train your people, but really get involved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I internalize, and I see to be able to reciprocate that to other people. And I see the kind of commitment and investment that you put into your athletes.
For sure.
To make sure that they've got the tools necessary to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
You really get involved, man. And I can tell that you've had that kind of interpersonal connection with other coaches, because it's unbiased, it's relentless. And it comes from a place of love.
For sure.
To where I think some people misinterpret that.
Correct.
Right? They think you're gigging on them, or you're just putting them down. And it's like, no, you love that person enough to be able to be truthful and honest with them. My coach was the same way, dude. And I think that that kind of reality check early on puts you in the right mindset to be successful.
My coach was like I said, very passionate. And he was basically a just community service. I mean, he was coming to pick up kids from the neighborhood, driving back to the gym, go back and pick up some more kids, driving back to the gym. You know what I mean? And we at the gym for hours and hours and hours at a time. He's investing his whole life
Oh yeah.
into what he was doing. You know what I mean? And he was passionate. He was passionate. He was honest. He talked to us about life. As kids. You know what I mean? I listened. You know what I mean? I listened clearly to him. So.
And there's a lot of kids out there. It's just one ear out the other. But for every 10 of those kids, there's one.
But when you want to win, you're going to listen to people who are winning.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's how I looked at it. I respected him for what he was doing, how he was doing it. He taught me a lot.
And he was your coach throughout, was it like youth league or was this throughout high school? How did this?
No, this was high school.
Okay.
This was high school. Yes, this was high school. I went to Belleville High School. He was the head coach, and he was a great coach. I mean, he was a great coach.
So he coached you guys all throughout your time as an athlete there.
I believe so. Yeah, he was there when I graduated. Yeah. When I graduated in '93.
Oh,
he was
okay.
still there. Yeah, he was my coach.
So he was probably a huge contributor into kind of helping in that process too to the next level to some degree.
I mean, yeah, to some degree because practice was hard.
Mm-hmm.
His practices were very hard. They were known for being hard, very intense. A lot of conditioning. A lot of heart check type of training.
So this is where this idea of pressure comes in.
Pressure, absolutely.
So for those of you that aren't familiar with pressure, this is that term that when things get hard, you persevere.
Man, you
right?
go.
And
you apply pressure.
Yeah. And I love the hungry hustler atmosphere
Absolutely.
in which pressure, you feel it when you walk in. Like it's not pressure to perform, it's pressure to like persist and to keep moving, right? And that supportive energy follows. I feel that when I walk in the room. So that's really great, man. Talking about this hustle in the beginning, what kind of what events inspired Hungry Hustler Fitness?
So I was always training, working out, things like that.
Right.
My wife was real influential in that. We would work out in the house, in the basement. Her friends knew we was working out. They'd come by sometimes to work out with us. And there was one point where my wife and some of her friends were going to a boot camp out in Redford. And I said, shit, I can do that. You know what I mean? I can do boot camp at my house, So I promoted a boot camp on social media and had 35, 40 people show up at my house.
No way, dude.
Yeah, straight up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty live.
You're talking about, do you know what year this was, circa?
I want to say it was 2014.
Oh, man, that's a good year for social media. It's right before things blew up into this obnoxious, overabundance of crap information.
So I meet a young lady.
Okay.
I not meet a young lady, but I ran into a friend of mine. Okay. And she said, I want you to help me lose weight. Right? I'm like, all right, well, if you're serious, give me a call later on.
Right.
Well, she called me. I'm talking to her. I said, well, listen, I'm going to charge you $15 a session. Okay? Pay me for 3 days, but you can train for 7. Right? Because I was open 7 days a week. Now, this is out of my garage.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to be training out of my garage. Now, I had a bench and a pair of 5-pound dumbbells. Okay, that's all I had.
Wow.
Okay. So I was talking to my wife that same week, okay, because she hadn't came yet. Okay. I said, man, $15 a day, 3 days a week. 3 days, that's $45 a week.
Right.
Which is $180 a month.
Yep.
I'm like, no, she ain't gonna pay that. That's a car note. You know what I mean? And you're in a garage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's no amenities.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You can be at Lifetime Fitness for $180.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to charge her $5 a session. She was like, $5? You ain't going to make no money? I'm like, baby, it ain't about the money. It's about the people. You know what I'm saying? You get enough people coming to you paying $5, you're going to make some money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end, it's making getting in shape affordable. Right?
That's true. The entry point is low.
I started promoting $5 training. right? I did my garage up real well, drywalled it, had black floor mats, and started slowly buying a little equipment. Nice TV in there, so it was real nice in there. Like it was real nice, heated, everything. And $5 training, it just took off. So I had strange people just coming to my house, wanting to work out, and that's what it was. And I just kept promoting it.
So it started as what you thought was going to be like this side gig to help you help other people, right? And
Yeah, for
create a
sure.
low cost point to maybe help a small group of people. And it just blew up into a community.
Well, you got to know that, like, in today's age, you got to have residual income.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
absolutely.
And it has to be of the legal, right, environment, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can't be out here doing nothing illegal. I tried that.
Right.
Okay,
right.
so I need to find something else to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried car washing, right? It was called Hungry Hustler, pick up and drop off valet car wash service. So I was picking people cars up from their house or their jobs, taking them to clean up, charge them like $50, $35 to $50. But I mean, I'm cleaning these cars. I'm spending
Right.
4 or 5 hours in them for like $35 to $50, breaking my back. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, this ain't gonna work. And then it just transitioned from that to Hungry Hustler fitness team.
Okay. So you, and this is what I love about you in this idea is that with lack of resources, you became resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important to highlight because there are so many people that are coming from situations where, for one, the racial injustice in this country is a big part of oppression, right? That limits and creates barriers for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's so absolutely important to highlight that your work ethic and your hustle, right? Your pressure, your grind, your no quit attitude was able to get you to a place to where you can now influence other people.
For sure. I mean, I think, as the team began to grow, right? As I began to promote and the team began to grow and people began to come, it really brought the community together. Because like after 5 o'clock, I mean, there would be like 20 people in my garage. You know what I mean?
It was
we
getting
running
bumping.
up and down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I began to feel what a community service felt like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I liked it. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed it. And I saw the enjoyment that the training brought to others.
Right.
So that was a real big driving force. And it wasn't a client-based energy. You know what I mean? It was like a team energy.
Yeah.
Like I wanted people to know, like, this ain't about no money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's $5.
So would you say that this is where this aspect of teammates over clients came into play? Because I know you use that term a lot, and it's actually even rolled over in how I address the individuals I work with, teammates, right?
Absolutely.
So explain to me kind of that driving force there, that transition from like, okay, this is no longer, like the typical client to trainer scenario. This is my team.
Well, it never started as a client. When I started it, I knew right away, I didn't want to treat people like they were clients.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because one of the things I enjoyed about being in high school and being on a team was the people, just the grind together, the push together, the leading one another,
right.
Feeding off, each other's energy. If somebody's down that day, come on, pick you up, let's work, we got things to do.
Yeah.
I wanted people to feel like they were a part of something. Because so many people training, they'll start and stop. Start, stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They train for 3 months, stop for 2 months. Like, how do you keep that consistency going?
And make it lifelong.
Right? When you feel like you're a part of something, it's different. You know what I'm saying? When you enjoy the energy and the atmosphere that you're training in,
100%,
and you're around others that enjoy the same thing, you want to come. You're going to want to train.
Oh, yeah, and it has that sense of accountability to not only to their own health, but to you, because you do form such a bonding connection with each person. I mean, you do an exceptional job at making sure each person in that facility feels valued. And I love that when I first became a part of your community there, I'd come in and kind of just be quiet, do my own thing. You're like, Dev, come on, speak up.
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
yourself known. You know how to bring people out of their shell, and I think that's so important as an influencer that you not only create an environment, but one that people feel comfortable that they have a voice in.
Correct.
And feel that accountability to not only themselves but you. We don't just have accountability towards a certain weight that we want to achieve. We have it towards the people that are pushing us to
Right.
keep that energy up. So, of all of the successes in Hungry Hustler Fitness early on, you were met with some trials and tribulations along the way. I want to
Absolutely.
talk about that a little
Okay.
bit because reading some news articles, we had some headlines come up about Hungry Hustler Fitness, and let's shed some light on that a little bit.
Yeah, I had left my job, resigned from my job, and we were sued by the township of Ypsilanti for running a business out of our garage.
Yeah.
I had a neighbor that, started complaining, not to me.
Darn neighbors.
He started complaining to others.
Right.
Higher ups, I guess you could say. Never once
Rather than just address you as a man.
Never once knocked on my door and said, "Hey, Nate, you're loud," or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
To try to collaborate and be able to, right.
But I appreciate the fact that he waited 2 years to do this. Because I was able to work in my garage for 2 years.
Right.
So we were sued. And I remember my wife, having small anxiety, about the whole situation, and I just told her, I said, babe, we're gonna win. Like, we're gonna come out of this, I promise you, So we go to court. And I remember the judge saying, he was just a very nice judge. I'm like, man, he cool. Like, man, we straight, And prior to that, we had found a location to train out of, because that's really what the township wanted us to do, find a place to train out of.
Right.
So we knew this going into court. Like, we found this place. We hadn't secured it yet, but it was ours. So make a long story short, we got in front of the judge, and his whole energy was just different, that he wasn't the lively, upbeat judge anymore. He was a little indifferent. But he told us to cease and abate what we were doing. I said, well, we found a location to move this to, but I still need, about 30 days, to earn a living, out of my garage, He said, no, we couldn't do it, I had to stop right away, which was cool. That's fine. After that, we did a GoFundMe.
Okay.
We did a little GoFundMe, talking about just how the court played us, so to speak, in terms of not allowing us to finish up what we were doing, and we were in the community. You know what I'm saying? What we were doing was helping the community.
Right,
we weren't selling drugs. We weren't
right.
loud. None of that. But we did the GoFundMe, and it was real successful. It helped out a lot in terms of getting us started, and opening the doors up to Hungry Hustler Fitness. So the community has always, really, really, really supported what we're doing, how we're doing it, and just myself in general. Being from Ypsilanti, I definitely feel the support of my community.
So this was really a matter of the community supporting your message and what you've cultivated within that community that you started, that they were able to contribute to pulling you guys out of some of that dirt in the moment.
It helped a lot.
That's huge, man.
It helped a lot.
Because there's a lot of businesses that would just go under, and that's the end of it. It's history.
Yeah, well, we hadn't even gotten started. You know what I mean?
I know.
We were trying to get started.
And that's just shocking to me. You guys had such a good following and good bones starting off, It's just a really cool story to hear how people coming together can truly make a difference, not only in a community setting, but to be able to grow this idea into now a fully operating facility that you're able to bring people in and out of.
And I had a great team. I have a great team in terms of my wife and my kids, and our bond was great. And I just transferred it to the team.
Yeah.
Like, I want to build a team of people.
So along this the same topic of team, at what point did you start bringing others in on it? Because I know before, when you and I were first talking, like you had mentioned to me that you had a couple of people that just really fell in love with the idea of Hungry Hustler Fitness and just wanted to be a part of its history and its growth. So let's talk a little bit about that.
So basically, man, with the whole team concept, like I said, I enjoyed my teammates when I was on teams and I played in different sports. Like I enjoyed the whole team aspect, And when we started in the garage, I had a couple of people who were like, "Man, like this is a great idea, bro. What you're doing is a great idea." And it was more than an idea. Like I realized this is what I know how to do. Like I was loving this. Like I couldn't wait to do it, And I was working a job at the same time, And it was a job that took me away from my family all week, where I didn't see my family till the weekends and things like that. So being able to do something else on the side, it ignited a fire up under me. You know what I'm saying? Because, so many of us can get up every day, you go to the same job, you're doing the same thing, and the monotony, you know what I mean? It can take a toll on all of us.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Next thing you know, life's starting to kick your ass. You know what I mean? Can I speak like that?
Oh, yeah.
Life's starting to kick your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wasn't going to let life kick my ass. You know what I mean? So I wanted something different. And I would pray, man. I would talk to God like, I need this. This can't be my life. You know what I mean? Like, show me something different.
I'm ready for change.
And he did, and creating the whole team environment, I wanted to build relationships with people. You know what I mean? I wanted to inspire. I wanted to motivate. I wanted to encourage. I wanted to drive people, and relate it all to their daily life, right? Because training, it takes a certain type of person to get up every day, right? Put your training clothes on, get in your car, drive to the gym, or even go in your basement or whatever, and apply pressure to yourself.
Challenge yourself, yep.
Right? It takes a special type of individual to do that. You know what I mean? And there's millions of them out there that are doing it every day. But there's another a million or so that aren't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wanted to tap into that area, man, from a team concept. Like, shit, let's all get better together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It don't matter about how much weight you lose. The weight gonna fall off. Just work. Just come in and work, apply pressure as much as you can.
And be
for
consistent.
The rest of your life.
Yeah, yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean? I don't know what you're gonna look like in 6 months. But I know if you keep training, your body gonna change.
And I love that concept too.
You know what I mean?
You're not selling a false idea.
No, we're not selling chicken dinners. Everybody needs this, man. Every single walking human being, if you eat, you should exercise.
100%.
I don't say you don't have to join a gym. You don't have to train with Hungry Hustler Fitness. But you need exercise in your life. Period, point blank.
And that's just it. I mean, people are not moving enough. They're not getting out and doing things enough. They're not being around people who hold good energy enough. You have all of these things going on in the facility that are helping people make the necessary changes in their life to not only be challenged at a physical capacity, but to also be challenged at a mental capacity and grow from that. So I want to get an idea of what your ideology is and how you approach training with each person that walks in there. Is it like when you're formulating, because I watch you make these workouts for the day, right? It's for that particular day. The people come in, they do their thing, and you guide them. What's going through your head when you're designing these workouts for these people coming in, knowing that you've got people like Dier, right, who are just high performers? They'll do anything you throw at them. And then you've also got the opposite end of the spectrum where you've got, Chandra, who may only be able to do a few squats, right, and some running. So you have that contrast. What's your thought process going into making these workouts for these individuals, your teammates?
So basically, I'm thinking from a varsity standpoint, right? And then because it's pretty easy to dumb a workout down. You You know what I'm saying? It's pretty easy to do that for someone who hasn't trained in a long time. You know what I'm saying? That's really easy. In terms of creating a workout that's challenging for varsity level, which we call teammates who can, basically do everything. We call them varsity level. So I'm putting a varsity level workout together. The challenge of that is creating something that's going to continuously challenge these people every day that they walk in the gym.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my thought process when I'm putting the workout together. Is how can I challenge my teammates?
So you set it as like you think you keep your varsity guys in mind, girls, gals, guys. You keep them in mind when you're formulating this training program for the day. And those that don't quite make up to par, they're using that as an example of what to shoot for.
For sure.
Okay. Now, I like that because you're not only serving the population that performs at a higher level, but you're also getting the people who don't to aspire to train at that level.
Because the varsity level players didn't start off varsity level.
No, they didn't. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they were the same people who's walking in scared, intimidated, nervous, shy, bashful. You know what I'm saying? They were those same people as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had to, or we as a team, had to convince them and keep them motivated, keep them encouraged. Because there's times, man, when you can train and someone who hasn't done it and is just getting into it, you can be easily discouraged.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Because you can't do something and you can see somebody, right next to you, they just boom, boom. They, like a rabbit with it. You know what I mean? And I tell them, like, they were you before. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't start out like that. They had to learn it. They had to go through what you're going through right now. They just never quit.
So you're using that as like, this is where you want to be.
This is where you're trying to get to.
100%. I like that.
Where you're trying to get to. Absolutely.
Now, your approach to training, I really love. I think it's unique. What else sets your I don't want to say your gym because it's so much more than that. What else sets your movement apart from other facilities, other places that are doing classes, that are doing personal training? What do you think the biggest or a couple of the biggest factors are that make you different from those other places?
The fact of the matter is a lot of the places that do the same training we do, we all are very, very, very similar. But I do think we offer just passion and energy.
Yeah.
Because you can get a good workout anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Honestly, but when you can walk in a place, man, and you can feel that passion, you can feel that energy, like, it's just a different feeling. You know what I mean? It really is. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain. You come in there and the gym is live. You got 5 to 10 people in there. Everybody working, the music going, sweating. Everybody just training. Everybody's doing everybody.
Yeah.
That
makes
it's such
sense.
a we, us, our environment, and you're still able to be an individual, in that type of environment.
Yeah.
Your eye doesn't stand out like, here I am, but it still does.
I look at and I think it's unique to me in my experience of visiting other facilities, gyms, fitness clubs. I mean, I've been all over Southeast Michigan, and yours is different. It's an open training environment where you're still getting that piece of one-on-one in a lot of senses. You are. So that value is there. But you're also being fueled by other people suffering with you through the pressure. And
sure.
I think that's a huge part of why you've got so many people that come back consistently. Because there's a lot of health clubs and a lot of gyms that may have thousands of memberships, but the type of, the people that are coming in are different from what's on that membership page,
sure.
right?
For
So,
sure.
and I think you, just from the somewhat short time I've been affiliated, you've got your regulars, and they make up a good majority of that place, and they're constantly working. It's hard to keep people motivated, right?
It is.
You've been in business or training your teammates for how long now?
4.5 years.
So 4.5 years, right? Most people that are affiliated with some sort of club or boutique setting, year tops, they're bored. they need change.
Mm-hmm.
They need this, that, and the other. You've continued to retain all of the people, for the most part, that I know of, that you've started with, and they've bought into the Hungry Hustler training system. So I just think that that's huge, because not to take any credit away from you, everyone's got to learn their own thing, but you're someone without a business degree, right? You're someone that doesn't connect with some of these huge entrepreneurs in the area. You simply had the know-how to be resourceful enough to create all of these foundations to set in place a really lucrative business on top of just a great community.
I knew that when I walked away from my job, the only plan I had was to win. That was it. You know what I mean? And learn on the go. We would learn on the fly. My wife and I, we were learning on the fly. But I was cool with that. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have a blueprint or anyone to call and be like, well, how do we do this? Or where does this happen? So, but it's fitness, and I wanted to simplify it. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible in terms of how we put it out there to people, because it's just getting in shape. It's recess.
It is.
It's gym class.
And that's huge too, because they take something like fitness that really is a simple premise to understand. Your output is your input, right? How much you get out of that experience is how much you're putting in. It's really that simple. But you've got marketing, you've got all of these different ways to package it that is bodybuilder type workout, that is CrossFit style, that is, this is keto that's going to go along the best way of training. It's just like they package it in all these marketable terms.
Right. But it's all the same thing.
It's all the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? It's just training.
It's just training.
Somebody came in there recently, so you guys are a CrossFit gym. I'm like,
that's got to be
said, funny. Can you tell me what CrossFit is? Like, what is that? And at the end of the day, I don't take it as an insult or anything. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, whether you bodybuilding, whether you strength training, whether you CrossFit and you just a cardio junkie, whatever it is, it's still a great form of improvement. You dig what I'm saying?
Self-improvement.
You getting better because you're doing it, right? It's the people that aren't doing it that we need to get to doing it on some level. Yeah. Like, you don't have to do it as intense as I do it, or as intense as somebody at some other gym does it. You know what I'm saying? I do my best not to compete with other gyms, other trainers, none of that. I'm trying to see everyone win, period. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see everyone win out here doing this because it's necessary. So I might train one way, somebody else might train another way. Is my way of training better than his? No.
I love that about you,
because you know what I mean?
You don't compare yourself in your training, man. And I think that's huge, because you have a lot of these, I don't want to say they're imposters, but they pick a side, right? Or they specialize in what they're trying to promote as their training style. And I get it's a necessary part of being able to market your training and to be different, but you're also taking away from the value that is simply just the message of moving. That's it. And people get so caught up. Like, I've had to try to undo bad habits with some of the people that I work with on an online basis, because I've got them so used to a certain way that we train, that I'm trying to get them to be more balanced in life, and not just bodybuilding or X goal to meet this. It's like, why don't we just train to be happy, healthy, and strong, and just...
I personally, man, I want to combine cardio with strength training, right?
Yeah.
Get your cardio, let's lift these weights.
Yeah.
Lift your weights, let's get this cardio. You need them both.
You do.
You know what I'm saying? They're both a necessary
yang.
growth. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I try to incorporate that every single day.
Now, as far as I know you mentioned you don't compete with other gyms, or at least you're trying not to, right? Do you network at all with other business owners, gym owners?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I saw within the last few months you've been taking trips down to Florida.
Yeah, vacation.
Are those vacation or business? Because I notice sometimes you're in the gym and you're...
It's complete solitude.
Is it? Okay.
That's all it is. You know what I mean? But when I go on vacation, I train.
Okay.
I find a gym that I can get some work in.
Yeah. Self-care, the right kind.
I mean, absolutely. Because I'm on vacation don't mean work don't got to be done.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? It's an hour out of my day. You know what I mean? It's just training is just a winning part of my day for me personally.
Yeah. It
You know what I
empowers
mean?
you.
It does.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just as hard on me as it is on others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People think that, we don't struggle. Like, no, I struggle too. Like, I'm trying to struggle. Like, that's
Yeah.
my whole goal in this. I might not wear that struggle all over my face, and it may look smooth and easy, you know what I'm saying? But believe me, there's a great deal of struggle to it.
I've always believed, and I think you bring this environment to your gym and to your facility, is that we train to endure the stresses of life. Life is constant suffering, and you can either decide to be broken by it or to keep moving forward. Those are your only two options.
Mhm.
You lay down and take it, or you move forward and progress.
Mhm.
And I think that overall, you got to look at life as that barbell. It's either gonna crush you, and you're not able to lift it,
Mhm.
or you pick yourself up by your
For
bootstraps
sure.
and you bear down and you work within that pressure to keep moving forward. And we don't wear that worry right on our face. We
Mm-mm.
don't show it as much. People are miserable in life, dude.
Mhm.
They're miserable because they don't take any ownership or
Mhm.
accountability. We struggle the same way. Our struggle is different, and we endure it more efficiently or better than most. But that's all that it is, right? It's your ability to endure struggle of daily life. A lot of people, let's say, cousin, mother, brother dies tomorrow. You can't change that outcome, but you can change how you react to it.
Mhm.
And I think that fitness in general, whether it's strength training, cardio, whatever the case, you're building your tolerance to handle those stresses,
For sure.
right?
Definitely.
And being fit physically and mentally aids in that, no doubt.
Being fit for life.
Being fit for
You know what I
life.
mean? Being mentally and physically fit for life. And the older you get, man, the more likely your bones they weaken and
Yeah.
things like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that we all practice some form of strength training.
Yeah.
Whether you're at home doing push-ups, jumping jacks, and some body squats.
Right.
I mean, you can do that for the rest of your life, and you're being very effective.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't pay a dime for no personal training or nothing. Because I recognize that my training style isn't for everyone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And someone else's training style may not be for someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The people that are going to rock with me are the people that's going to rock with me. The people that are going to rock with others are the people that's going to rock with others. We all are part of the same movement, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all fitness.
It's all fitness, man. It's all let's get in great shape.
100%.
Let's encourage and inspire other people to do it. That's all I'm about. I ain't in it for the money.
Right.
You know what I mean? I need to earn. I want to earn.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I enjoy the relationships I build. The people that walk in that gym and create change for themselves. And when they come up to you and say, "Man, Nate, I appreciate it, man. You helping me a lot. Thank you for what you're doing. No, thank you for what you're doing."
It makes it all worth it too.
You know what I mean? So
100%. So clearly, Hungry Hustler is at this point now where you've got 4 years in the game. Longer, even if we're looking at before this whole movement even started.
mhm.
So you've got some time put in. You've got some finances put in at this rate. So what's the next step for Nate in the Hungry Hustler fitness movement? Are we thinking takeover? Are we thinking maintenance? What are we looking at?
We want to grow. I want to continue to grow the team. I don't want to be where I'm at forever. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Because that's just complacency, right?
For sure, but I definitely want more in
Mhm.
terms of I would like to, have my own facility, that I own, that I'm not paying a rental fee to someone else.
Yeah.
I want to own my own building.
Yeah.
Create better amenities for team members and people who want to join the gym. And just have space, area, land,
Yeah.
to do whatever I want to do.
Be private to be able to operate on your own accord completely.
Absolutely.
I agree with that, man. I think that's every fitness business owner's goal is to kind of secede from all of those pieces of like having a landlord or freeing yourself from all of those types of chains, right? Because then that leaves them having leverage on you to some extent. That's always tough.
It's marked up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
you know
my
what
gosh,
I mean?
dude.
It's marked up. So I've
It's
always
incredible.
wanted to cut the middleman out.
Yep.
And the middleman helps you get started, and things like that. But eventually, you want to, be your complete boss.
Right.
Complete ownership of everything that you're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Ownership and being your own boss and being in charge of yourself and people around you, the freedom in that is priceless. Being your own boss, priceless.
It is.
It's weightless.
If you're cut out for it. Now, I think everyone should try to get to a place to where they can be their own boss as soon as they can. That doesn't mean everyone's cut out for it.
And everyone doesn't have that goal.
No, they don't.
That's not everyone's goal. We weren't taught. I wasn't taught in school to be an entrepreneur or own something of my own. It was, you got to find a job, some type of career.
Help somebody else with their ownership of something.
It wasn't like, well, let me help you be the employer.
Right.
You employ others.
Yeah.
Type environment. So, yes, ownership. I want to own.
Now, I mentioned this idea of takeover, and the reason why I mentioned that is I alluded earlier to the fact that you're like Eric Thomas, right? And how I view your approach in a lot of ways. And I got to listen to some of your youth outreach videos. Loved them, by the way. I think that kids need that in their life, especially underprivileged youth. They need that kind of figure, that model like you, to be able to say, look, one wrong choice can lead me here, but it doesn't define me.
Right.
So talk a little bit about your time doing some of these talks and volunteer work with these schools, and do you plan to do more of them?
I want to.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up. I miss that. I miss that energy that I would get from them kids and sharing my stories and personal things that I've overcome. I'm a one-time felon. No college degree. Didn't finish college. Did finish high school. Okay. Had different jobs throughout my life. You know what I mean? Decent paying jobs.
Yeah.
And I remember telling my wife, I wanted to, be a boss. I wanted to be a supervisor somewhere, And she always told me I could do it. And I was like, man, I need to get a degree. And she was like, nah, baby, you don't need a degree. And I always recognized myself as a solid leader, and I had got this job and I started, at the bottom, and a position of leadership came available and bam, jumped right on it. They hired me. And I never forget, my supervisor, my manager, asked me this was my post interview hiring. So after I got hired, we sat down, he talked, asked me what my goals were. I said, well, my goal is to have your job. And he just looked like, I said, not literally take your job, but I want to know what you know. I want to become a manager. After a manager, I want to become a VP.
Right.
I told him, this is what I told him. I wanted to
up the ladder.
Stay a supervisor for 10 years, bro. That's what I want to do. But I think me saying that, it had to create some type of intimidation or made him feel some type of way because he didn't want to share with me. And I would talk to him about it, ask him about it and things like that. But anyway, there was one time after I started the training and everything, my performance on my job started to slip a little bit.
Right.
Yeah,
and you're getting spread thin.
So my boss called me up into his office one day and he told me, he said, that thing you're doing isn't paying your rent, right? And I remember saying, first of all, motherfucker, I don't pay no rent. I got a mortgage. And you don't know what this thing is doing. I didn't like that. Like, I didn't like that. Like, I just that whole, like, just downplaying what I'm doing and how I'm doing. I recognize in my performance had slipped, you know. 3 months later, I was out of there, you know. And I remember being in this round table with my superiors and them asking me what did I want to talk about first. And I told them, I said, you know what, I'm not even going to waste your time anymore. I'm resigning my position today. I found something that I love to do, and I'm going to go do it, you know? And from that point on, when I walked out of that building, bro, like literally, I didn't have a plan. I didn't know. I just knew I wasn't doing this no more.
Right.
You know? And it was the most compelling feeling of freedom. Like, just felt weightless. Like I was walking on water. It was a long walk down this warehouse floor. And I remember a couple of guys coming to me, Nate, everything all right? Man, everything is great, bro. I'm out of here. I'm done. That stench, that smell, that odor, that aroma of that whole warehouse, the toxicity, and it was just a toxic environment.
The energy.
Terrible. Okay. Morale, just it was a no-win environment. But you got paid to be in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I hated it. And once I removed myself from that environment and went on my own, when I tell you the freedom of not having to, where you at on your break, you know, calling you, you know, what time you taking your break? Like, my breaks are 2 hours now. I don't take a union break anymore. You know what I mean? I set my own break. The freedom of ownership and being able to do what you want to do, you know, and I've abused it at times. You know what I mean? So I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I'm still a work in progress. I still want to become a better trainer, operate a better gym. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, what we're offering right now in terms of just training, everyone is offering. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to keep offering it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
That's it. You know?
I love this idea, especially where I'm at in a startup phase and trying to, you know, establish a presence in the industry. I love this aspect of going against the naysayers, because you're going to have people that are writing your checks that look at you as just a tool, a piece in the machine, a cog in the machine that is helping drive profit margins.
That's it.
And that's it. You are not meaningful to any of those people.
Absolutely not.
They don't care about you or your family. They care about what you were able to provide and contribute so that their profit margins are higher this quarter than last. You know, especially if you're in a factory setting, and I empathize with that. Been in a factory setting, not very long,
right?
Thankfully,
right.
But that energy of people feel like, it felt when I was there, it felt like everyone had just given up and settled for mediocrity.
Where's my check?
Right. And I knew that wasn't where I wanted to be. The energy that I was used to, it wasn't even, you know, remotely anything I had ever experienced. And I was getting into fights with people in the factory because they didn't want to do anything, right? They were just okay with clocking in.
Shortcuts.
And shortcuts, hanging out, expecting the young people to pick up the slack, because in that system, in that tenured environment, the more time you have in, the less you do. Right? So like 6 of us clock in on weekends, 2 of us are working, the other 4 tenured guys chilling.
Yeah,
I'm there for 13 hours when it should have been a 4-hour weekend day. You know, so I understand, like, I empathize with that. And I think that's why, again, when I talk about our similarities, you know, as someone who's coming up in this industry and at such a young age, seeing that influence what you've created sets the foundation. And this is why I want to promote people who are doing great things without that typical status quo of a degree or, these other societal expectations that are pushed on us. Because you can find greatness at any point in your life, regardless of what accolades you hold. It's about your mentality and your actions.
I do believe now that, the saying, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of truth to that.
100%.
You know what I mean? And if you want to get something done, if there's something that you want to get done that you want to happen, it'll happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It may not happen when you want it to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if it's something that you really want to happen, then you'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And I believe that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that needs to be instilled in everyone. Because it's never too late to get better.
No.
You know what I'm saying? As long as you can breathe, walk, talk, even if you can't do that.
Yeah.
Still room to get better, man.
100%.
So,
and I think a lot of that too is being grateful for what you have, for one, but also recognizing the opportunity of growth, right? Man, it's been a lot of fun talking to you on a deeper level and getting a chance to really share thoughts on your experiences coming up. You're doing such a great service in the community of Ypsilanti, a place that is usually deemed as like Ann Arbor's cousin or something, like it's always downplayed. And I think that whenever I think about Ypsilanti now, I think Hungry Hustler. I really do. And I've made it a huge point in my mission to promote your message because I believe in it, in any way that I can collaborate on creating a better community in the one that I live in, man, I'm going to jump on. Yeah. And just super excited to be able to talk to you about all of that today. Before we end off, I want to know what your favorite workout split is, dude, because you're doing legs all the time now.
Yeah.
What's up with that? So, like, what's your favorite workout going into your own spot?
Oh, man.
What gives you that spark for the day? Because you get pretty hyped sometimes.
I mean, legs are...
I knew it.
They're intense because they're hard. Like, so for me, I love doing them because of the challenge of it. You know what I'm saying? The leg presses and all that, like I really don't like the leg press machine. But squats and then the volume that I do when I'm doing them.
Go ahead and elaborate on the amount of volume you do, because it's pretty crazy to myself. It's like 10 sets of what?
So I was when I was down in Florida training. So I did like 5 sets of 315.
Yeah.
5 sets of 10 at 275. 5 sets of 10 at 225.
Oh my gosh.
The guy says, he was asking me how much I had done, He said, man, you do more in one day than I do in a whole week, So legs, I love doing legs. I love squatting. I love the challenge that it represents for myself. Because it really mentally challenges me, where it damn near intimidates me.
You got to dig for those
definitely.
I see that in you, man. You really go after it with that sense of hustle and pressure. And I think I love too that, like, there's a lot of fitness business owners, gym owners, that they don't embody what they're trying to promote, right? Like, you see how many business owners do you see that they don't embody, even if they're in health, right? Nurses, they don't embody what they're trying to promote. Doctors, they don't embody what they're trying to promote. You represent in every sense of Hungry Hustler. You embody the spirit, you embody the work ethic, and you create that environment. And it's something I recognize and internalize as I continue to go into more places to create opportunity, is like, you got to speak it and live it, you know? You do that every single day.
I mean, as a trainer, I just train. You know, at 44 years old, my only goal in this is to keep my shit together. That's it. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking to others about. Like, don't get caught up in the number,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what the scale might read. You know what I mean? Because you can lose weight.
Yeah.
Can you keep the weight off? You can go on a diet, but can you eat better?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, it's a challenge for everyone. You know what I'm saying? And it's a year-round challenge that, you know, you have to be mentally tough to handle.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I'm saying? And everyone doesn't handle it.
No, they don't.
But I try to encourage them to do so. You know, and at the end of the day, man, it's what we need.
100%.
Being challenged, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. You know, we are trying to get out of something.
Challenge promotes growth. And it really does. Challenge promotes growth. Without challenge, there is no growth. You know, we can't expect to get better if we don't know what it's like to be under that pressure to be better. To end us off today, because we've had an awesome conversation. I'm super happy about this. To end us off today, what is 2 questions? What is, for one, a piece of advice or a tip that someone who is just getting started in their fitness journey, what can you tell them that's going to help guide them in the long term? Not just a diet or a workout regimen that they stick to for a month. What do you tell them in the long term to keep them moving?
Apply pressure.
Move with that pressure.
Just apply pressure. You know what I mean? No matter what, keep going. Shit gonna happen. Like, obstacles are gonna come your way. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna make good choices one minute, you might make bad choices another minute. You know what I mean? Keep going.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going. Can't kick yourself too long.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Can't beat yourself up too long. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And at the end of the day, it's never gonna go the way you see it in your head.
So
it's
being
never going to go the
adaptable.
way you vision it or you dream it.
Right.
It's never going to go that way. It's never going to be that easy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm proof of that. I promise. Countless struggles. You know what I'm saying? But we can't, you know, just publicize everything that you're going through. There's countless struggles that I go through that I know my teammates might be going through.
Yeah.
Apply pressure.
Yeah.
Keep going. Wake up. Keep going. Because time heals all wounds. And guess what? No matter what I'm going through, or what you going through, what anybody going through, guess what? Life gonna keep happening.
Yeah.
So I'm either gonna keep happening with life or just wallow in my struggles.
Yeah.
And wallowing in my struggles gonna have me on the corner with a sign talking about, you know, help me. I'm homeless. I'm work for food. You know, nah. Because life will kick your ass. Like, literally. Don't fucking fight back. Life will kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, man, I gotta say this. Like, I know guys who I went to high school with, man. We were brothers, like athletes together. You know what I'm saying? Practice, train hard together. Guys, I'm talking about 170 pounds. You see them 5 years later, they 3 times that size. And I'm not judging anyone. But I'll say, man, what happened, bro? What happened? You know what they'll say? Life. Got married, had kids, started working. Like, what does that mean? Like, is that like a death sentence? Like, we supposed to, like, encourage and motivate and push one another. If I got a teammate, like push me. Like, I'm gonna push you. Let's push each other to get better, not get worse.
Yeah.
How do I get with you and I start losing?
Yeah.
Like that, I could lose by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we partners in this path to trying to win. Right? And winning takes sacrifices, winning takes challenging, winning takes losing, right? To win, sometimes you gotta lose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, apply pressure, man. That's the best advice I can give to anybody.
We're going to end off there. That was perfect response. Thanks again, Nate, for coming on the show today.
Absolutely, man.
Look forward to hearing more from this guy. I'm around all the time with him, trying to pick up on the culture and energy that he is promoting in Hungry Hustler Fitness Gym. Let them know where the facility is, Nate.
Gym is located on 1828 East Michigan Avenue. It's across the street from Kroger's, on the eastern end of Ypsilanti. Stop in there, man. Come get some work. Train with us. Listen, you don't got to join the gym, but come in there and get some work.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Come in and get some work.
Drop your Instagram.
Instagram is Hungry Hustler Fitness. Nate Griffin II. You got Facebook, Nate Griffin II. I'm always on there trying to promote, inspire, and encourage. That's what we all about.
100%, man. Thanks again. All right, you guys. Until next time, that is our show today. Thank you for tuning in. And never forget, aspire to inspire.